Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
And to venture through the portals of outer space.
I wish I could do that. That would be fun.
Portals would be scary.
Yeah, I don't know if I would actually do it.
What if you don't come out on the other side?
That's a whole conversation for another time. Today,
we're doing a review of Galactic Renaissance.
Boom!
Now, this is the second installment in the political trilogy from Christian Martinez, as published by Manago. In Galactic Renaissance, you'll take a leader of a politician who will be going through the planets to instill the ways of the new Galactic Senate. Now, you're trying to become the leader of the new Galactic Senate, so based on how well you influence the policy and the objectives, maybe it'll give you a little bit of more influence, and maybe you will be that leader who is able to bring everyone together. The theme of the game is really centered on peace. You're not going to go to war, you're not going to go to battle, you simply want to influence planets, and if they don't want to join, they won't. But you'll be persistent, and you'll tell them about the ways that we all live in, and hopefully everyone will live in harmony and successfully in this Galactic Renaissance.
Well, now let's give you a quick overview of how to play the game.
In Galactic Renaissance, your goal is to reach 30 victory points and score 10 victory points in one turn. You'll do this primarily by fulfilling objectives from the new Galactic Senate. Each turn you'll play an operation card and move through the galaxy, exploring new planets, influencing them with your emissaries, building institutes and foundations, and working to accomplish conditions laid out in the objectives so you can score points and become the new Galactic Senate President. You'll also acquire specialists throughout the game, which will provide your deck with unique abilities to strategically gain an advantage over your opponents. One core feature of the game is that there's no discard piles. When you finish playing your card or cards, you'll place them on the bottom of your deck in the order that they were played. This will allow you to control the order in which you'll draw your cards. The other important aspect to note is that there's no combat in this game. Each planet will have a stability threshold. If elements exceed the stability threshold, you and your opponents will all take turns peacefully withdrawing, as no one has the means for war. We're all working to become the Senate President by sharing ideas and culture with the planets around us. Will you be able to influence others and carry out the policies in the most welcoming way possible? If you want to see our full how to play video for this game, check the description down below. Well, let's dive right on in. Why should you check out Galactic Renaissance?
Well, my favorite part about this game is actually the deck manipulation, where you're picking up specialists, adding them to your deck, and then utilizing them how you see fit. My favorite part is that you can discard a specialist to draw more cards from your deck and really filter through what you have going on. You've got a lot of decisions to make, which cards, which actions you want to be able to be taking that really help you cascade your game. And I think that's a lot of fun and interesting decisions to be made there, because really what you want to do is try to score those 10 points and exceed 30. So, or I guess get to 30.
Get to 30.
So it's very cool when you can say, utilize your specialists, and then all of a sudden be like, no, I think I can win here, so I'm just gonna discard my specialists. If I draw another one, I'll discard it, draw another one, and it's so much fun to be able to filter through your deck like that. Big fan.
Well, yeah, because there's no discard piles.
Yeah.
So like you'll essentially plan the order of your deck at one point. You'll know what's coming up. On that note too, it does seem like there's a lot going on in this game, but there's an ease to the play, because you're gonna play a card, you're gonna potentially play another card, but you're gonna do everything that the cards say. Then you'll check disorders, discard your cards, draw back up, and then you're back to playing. So a lot of the complexity in the game is actually in the strategy of how you want to maneuver throughout each of the planets, what objectives you want to focus on, what kind of leader you want to be in this space.
And really when you want to push to score points, I think that's a really important piece to the game, is your decision points of when you think you need to be scoring points, and if you can cascade to potentially claim that victory, because there are ways to score quite a bit of points, hoping obviously that people don't intervene with you during their turns, so that when it does come back to you, you can be successful in your turn.
Yeah, the pacing of this game is really interesting as well. If you enjoy a game that's really set, where the pace is really set by the players, because you really do begin a little bit slow. You're going to explore a couple planets, you're going to send some emissaries, maybe score a point here and there. But then all of a sudden, you're playing 3 or 4 cards. You're
Yeah.
playing more. You have more specialists, and
Going
that
through your
like
deck
growth.
faster.
Yeah, exactly. And that growth and that cascading is very exciting. But that pace is almost set as a table. When Tyler all of a sudden decides that it's time for him to play a bunch of cards to score a bunch of points, everyone else almost like tenses up a little bit. It's like, well, we've been slacking here. We've been not doing enough. So everyone jumps at the opportunity, and all of a sudden the game just comes to life, which is very exciting. There's almost like 2 stages of the game.
Yeah, and it's not even that. It's like, is he going to do it? Does he have enough points? Like, is Ilya actually going to be able to break 30 this time and score 10? So it's this interesting, like, win condition, I suppose, that you're going for. And it is, like, edge of the seat. Like, can this person make it? And how do I stop them on my turn, while also, like, really evaluating how I can get myself points as well. Because you don't want to be left, at a low score, right? Which kind of brings me to my next point, or our next point here, is that the area control here is non-aggressive because the theme, first of all, and then how they're resolved. Everybody is impacted by these disorders, and when they happen, it kind of just causes a little bit of chaotic energy where you have to like remove some presence, move things around, and really like no matter how you play it, unless you have special cards in your hand, you're going to, there's going to be a disadvantage for you coming into this disorder.
I really like, this is the metaphor that I use, is there's this very cozy room, there's a couple of chairs, and everyone wants to be in the cozy room, and everyone's very polite, so everyone just jams in there, and then realizes there's too many people in the cozy room. So then you just take turns leaving because, you know, you're very respectful of each other. So you leave and then you let the people who were maybe there a little bit longer or who had less of their groupies there stay.
Right.
So like I like it because the theme is really prevalent in those disorder resolution. You never can say like, I'm coming for Tyler, he has too many people there. Like you can come and be there and all of you can retreat, but you're impacted by that as well.
Yeah, it is a very interesting mechanic that I will say you definitely have to utilize during this game. So that's something you should keep your eye out for if you are going to play Galactic Renaissance.
Yeah, and I think if you do really enjoy area control and like maneuvering and trying to get majorities, but don't enjoy the conflict aspect of that or the planning and let's all attack Tyler aspect of that, this game will definitely be for you.
Yes. But that brings us to the question of who shouldn't check this game out.
Well, this is a game that has a lot of strategy. The rules in the game are fairly simple and you can teach it pretty quickly, but the strategy is really learned over a few games. You learn how to maneuver, and I find that I think this is a game that really shines after probably 5 to 10 plays, where everyone can understand what they're going for, understand the utilization of some of the specialists, and create different strategies that they want to try to implement. I think that is where the game shines. So if you are looking for a one-off experience, one-off game night, this may not be the game for you, but if you're really invested to learn a game and come back to it and really embrace it in all its glory, then maybe that's Galactic Renaissance. Yeah,
exactly what Ilya said is you do need some plays through this game to really understand the strategy, but not only your own strategy, but to understand what's going on with everybody else's boards and how you can potentially slow them down while still benefiting yourself, because I think that is a very important piece of the game. And I'll say it again like I did with the check it out thing, is you really have to utilize the disorders, and I think that's something that can be kind of uncomfortable for players who are playing this for the first time, because you're not sure if you should necessarily be doing that. It's maybe a strategy point where you do learn more and more that it is valuable. So the reason that you might not want to check it out, again, like Ilya said, is if you're looking for more of a let's get this to the table so I can show more and more people and have a different game experience all the time, I don't think that this game will be necessarily for you.
I think another reason to not check it out is it is a game where it's helpful if everyone's at the same level. If 3 people have played this game many times and a new person comes in, that new person probably will not do as well. So I think it's a game that you can learn together with, and it provides that experience.
And again, early on, it's like this game that can be really run away with. Like somebody can really run away with the game, and that can be a little defeating. But you have to understand that your goal is to reach 30 points and score 10. So you know when people are in the 20, and I think like if you don't reach 30, you go back to 20, correct? So you know that the people at 20 are close to winning, but you might be at 12 and they'll win. And 12 to the 30 points seems like a lot, but in reality, that's maybe 1 or 2 times that you're scoring, depending on how fruitful like the decisions are for you. So I wouldn't let that discourage you, but it is something that I can see being a barrier for people to want to play this game.
I think the last point I'll say here as well is that win condition. You have to get 10 points and score 30 in the same turn, and that can be a lot of planning. So if you're not a planner and more of like, let's play to see how things go, like this game, in order to do well in this game, you'll have to plan and almost set some things in motion so that you could have that one grand turn and end the game, which, yeah.
All right, well, overall, what do we think about Galactic Renaissance?
I really enjoy it. I'm typically not a person who enjoys area control of like, that person's winning, let's come after them. But in this game, you don't really have that element of like, let's come after them. Like, we can go and do more influencing in this area, but it's not a huge negative detriment to the person that is there. You're not directly attacking person for no reason. You're still doing what is beneficial for you. The theme is really cool. Again, space games are usually not my biggest forte either, but I really enjoy this peaceful, let's bring people together, let's share in the culture of our vast solar system or vast galaxy that we've had, and learn from each other and be together and build this collective community where we can coexist in this peaceful manner, because we don't want war. No one wants war here.
Yeah, it's no good.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, theme is pretty fantastic. I think like if you're looking for a game that is something that you'll play over and over again, this has got a lot of strategy points where, like we've said before, is you have to really get into the game, play it a handful of times to really have the strategy down. I think that that's where the game begins to be more and more fun. So it's like this level up of the game experience for this. I particularly enjoy that non-aggressive area control, particularly with some of the goals, because sometimes you don't even have to control the area. You have to be the minority. You have to have exactly 2. There are these unique different wordings and strategies that you can do to like manipulate your planet, every other planet that you're involved in, and help yourself score these points without necessarily being the majority. And I think that's where that area control piece really like shines, because it's different than from what most people would associate with an area controlled game.
Yeah, it's very clever. We have not played Inish.
We've not, no.
So I really want to play Inish now based on this experience, and it's definitely on top of my wish list now, because this has been a really wonderful experience. And if you want to learn more, there's a lot more on the Kickstarter you can check out. We also did a how to play video.
Yeah, so if you want to know how to play it, you can click the link up there, I think.
Probably at the end of the video. I don't know if it'll show up yet.
Yeah, who knows?
But if you have any more questions, you can leave them in the comments down below. We're happy to chat Galactic Renaissance all day long.
We are? Maybe. I suppose. I do want to add one more point. I think that it's important to say, we kind of talked about it in the Check It Out, but it is like a game that flows really well once you've started going with it. It is essentially read the card and do what it says. As long as you're able to walk yourself through that, the hardest part about it is coming up with a strategy that works for you.
And it's that trial and error too.
Exactly.
Because you'll try something and be like, that was stupid. Why did I do that?
Oopsie daisies.
But then you'll come back to it and you'll come back. And I think it's still very thematically related. Of like, you can go try a strategy, but you realize that doesn't resonate with anyone there. No one wants to hear about this, but maybe they do want to hear about this. And changes kind of the dialogue in the thematic way.
Yeah, especially if you're jumping into the more of the thematic presence of it, I think for sure.
Very cool.
But with that out of the way, like Ilya said, is we made a how to play. We'll put it at the end of the video. If you have any other questions, please let us know down in the comments below. But if you liked this video, give us that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. We make a weekly board game content because we love board games and we love the community that we've been able to create.
And for our question of the day, if you were to name a planet that was newly discovered, what would you name it?
Side note, my favorite planet in this one right now is Techno Central, because it's so like obvious but not obvious given all the other planets that are in this planet. I don't know. I think it would be cool to have a planet called kovray.
Ooh.
Yeah. I also think that has a really good ring to it.
That is a good planet. I like that. I went to toothpaste.
Ooh. Alrighty. What would you name your planet? Let us know down in the comments below. And
do you want to visit kovray or toothpaste?
Yeah, that.
Well, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye.